it's been, yeah, it's got to be 5 years since I first had any dealings with pure staff. I was a transport manager at an international transport company. And Dan came to see me one day, obviously taking for work. We got chatting, had a very, very good relationship, and I've used him ever since. When I retired, or semi-retired, I spoke to Dan, and now I drive for him. Yeah, well, I've had dealings with quite a few agencies over the years. I was a transport manager for 20 odd years, and you need to build relationships, and it's quite difficult sometimes because they don't tell you the truth. They make big promises that even as they're saying them, you can tell that they're not going to be able to keep. I had an understanding with pure staff from first off with Dan, very good. We got on very well, and there was an understanding that there wouldn't be any nonsense between us. You know, that if he couldn't supply a driver or another operative, whatever, that he'd tell me that and not tell me that he could and not. And it worked very, very well, very successfully for all the years that we worked together. If he could supply somebody, they were always a fairly good standard. But if he couldn't, which is the most important part, he'd tell me he couldn't. So you either looked elsewhere or you made other arrangements, whatever you did, but you weren't sort of left hanging in the balance in no man's land, waiting for a call back or that sort of thing. And honesty is very, very important. When I took semi-retirement, I wanted to work 2 or 3 days a week, maybe more. And I have done more over because there's nothing else to do during the lockdown. So I've worked full time basically, but wanted to drive vans, and I spoke to Dan about it. And he said, yeah, I'll find you some. And there's 3 or 4 jobs now, or 3 or 4 different companies that I work for through the agency. And I could work 7 days a week if I wanted to. It's, you know, it's that good. I'll ring up. I've never had a problem either with money, being paid. The rate that they offered me was reasonable, quite reasonable for what I do. And if I don't like a job, I'll tell them and I don't go there again on the few that I have been to. And if they need me, if they're desperate, you know, if I say I can't work, I'm only going to work 2 days this week, but they're desperate, they will ring me, you know, as is their job as well. And most of the time I go, because, you know, like I said, during the lockdown, we haven't been able to do very much anyway. They've always given me very, very good service, either as a driver or as somebody looking for drivers. So I would use them again. Not that I'm ever going to be a transport manager again, because I'm too old for it now, but you know, I wouldn't fault, I can't fault them at all, really. You know, the rates were always very good when I was looking for drivers. So I mean, they balance it very, very well, because obviously they pay, especially these days, have to pay their drivers enough to keep them involved and keep them interested. We're still supplying transport firms with a price, because everything's down to price. So really, yeah, they do pretty good. I mean, I don't know how many drivers they've got, but they never fail to supply me, you know, and I could take 7 or 8, 9 a day. You know, there was never a problem with numbers, although that might have changed now in this current circumstances. But yeah, so all round, I think they're pretty good. Yes, I would recommend them, because I've dealt with quite a few agencies, and for me personally, I like the honesty. If they've got work, if you're looking for work, if you're looking for drivers, whichever way you're looking at it, they're going to tell you the truth, which is what I personally always valued, because it meant you could move on to do something else. Working for them, the money's good, pay direct into your bank, they pay holiday money, they do all the sort of things that, you know, agencies were always or anybody who worked for agencies always thought we were a bit dodgy, you know, but they're not. Everything's dead straight, very easy to work for and communicate with. Yeah, they're fine. In every respect, I can't fault them.